Hello, my fellow humans. Welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. Today we are going to be doing good news coming to you right now, or good news you need right now. That's what it is. Good news you need right now. And first, I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this tribe, this journey, this ever-growing channel. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anyone new here, welcome. This is that reminder we're all here sharing this human experience, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it means so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all those links in the description box in order to do so. You can email me for a personal reading. You can follow me on over to my podcast on Spotify at Scatter Love Radio. You can even join as a member, and I would love to see you on memberships, but if not, thank you for your continued support here. Today we are doing things just a tad differently, so I'm not doing pick a gemstone or pick an item. Today I'm going to be doing pick either from the star, the moon, or the sun. As you can see here, I pulled these out. I was drawn to use these today. So we're going to go ahead and move into our prayer, and then we will get our oracle cards, which I am using a new oracle card called the Sacred Forest by Denise Lynn. I've had these for a while, and I use these on my daily polls for myself, and I was called to use them today for this reading. So we'll see what comes through. I absolutely love these cards. All right. Geez, we got a big old flame here. All right, my beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come on to this reading. I ask that they may be protected at this time, and that they're open and receptive to the news that's coming through, and that you bring forth the good news that they need, that's going to sit well within their hearts at this time, knowing that it's not what we want to hear, but it's what we need to hear. And just because it might be difficult, or it might be different than what we initially expected, that does not necessarily make it bad. It means that there is something to be received there. And so I ask that you open us up to what that might be at this time, whatever it is that you choose to bring forth today. I ask that you protect all of my tribe members and wrap them in your everlasting love. May you show them mercy and help bring them the clarity they need when dealing with any one situation in their life that may seem difficult. May they lean on you. May they see the strength that you provide them, and may they recognize and realize their own internal strength as well. As these words are spoken unto this space and upon this tribe, so shall they be. Amen. Aho ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get that setup out of the way here. I had a fly who just like flew right into the smoke and just suddenly was like drunk. Sure, that did not feel good. Sometimes we fly in to be persistent and we get knocked on our butts. Okay, so I've already pre-shuffled these. I love these cards. They're absolutely beautiful. The artwork on them is wonderful. The messages are great as well. I love this deck. I have used it ever since I've gotten it as my own personal daily poll. So with that being said, since they are shuffled, we'll get to it. So source for pile number 1, what Sacred Forest Oracle card will help us better understand the good news pile number 1 needs right now? Thank you. And for pile number 2 source, what Sacred Forest Oracle will help us better understand the good news that pile number 2 needs right now? For pile number 2 source. Okay, thank you. And for pile number 3 source, what Sacred Forest Oracle card will help us better understand the good news pile number 3 needs right now? Okay, thank you. Let go. Okay. On the bottom, like, we have Wolf Spirit with family number 51. Just a second. Okay, So today we have family on the bottom with number 51. So it is all about connecting with our family, or the good news that's coming in can pertain to family matters, something you've been so looking forward to. But we'll see. All right, let me make sure we're in frame here. Okay, so for pile number 1, you have the Star card. For pile number 2, you have the Moon card. And for pile number 3, you have the Sun card. Okay. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, whichever one you're drawn to, that should be the pile for you. With that being said, I will see you over on your chosen pile. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this Star card, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on the good news you need right now. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey, this channel, this ever-growing tribe. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you, and for anyone new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out what is the good news that pile number 1 needs right now, Source. What is the good news that pile number 1 needs right now? What is the good news that they need right now? Source, what is the good news that pile number 1 needs right now? All right, we've got the 3rd house, Aquarius energy, and Pluto. It's interesting because I got the family card when we were doing the shuffle, and I don't know if you watched the intro, but the Wolf card, Wolf Spirit with Family, came out, and here we have the 3rd house talking about siblings, friends, people that you've connected with, people that are around in your life. One second. Sorry, my dog, she's been in a mood today, and I'm also in a mood with her, I guess, so we're just going to be in a mood together. But yeah, we've got this energy, and so with the 3rd house, we're talking about, you know, school friends, people you grew up with, siblings, early childhood learning, things that you learned early on. So this could be talking about family traumas as well. But there's this energy that's coming in about you finally detaching from whatever it was that was so difficult to deal with in your life. It's like having gone through so much with certain people, and having had to deal with a lot of toxicities and a lot of disconnection and a lot of even detachment from people who shouldn't have been detached from you, right? But you're like seeing things from a higher perspective now. You're actually stepping outside of the box that you were in, or the frame that you were in. And you're seeing things from outside looking in now. And you're realizing like, wow, I put up with a lot when I was going through all that. And yes, it hurt. Yes, it was awful. Yes, it was really difficult. But I'm ready to let that go. I'm ready to come into a new version of myself. And so what we're looking at today is how you're actually going to be bringing yourself out of that toxic environment that was created from all of that. So all the things that happened outside of you, the frame that you put yourself in, that's what you're bringing yourself outside of. So you're no longer identifying with what it is that you identified with as a child. So that could be the victim mentality, the black sheep mentality, the estranged family member mentality. the no one understands me mentality. So it's like these patterns that were re-emerging in your life that came from the way you were treated as a child. It doesn't make what happened when you were little okay, but what it's saying is that you're in this powerful position now where you're actually stepping outside of that and you're saying, I choose to lean into who I am now, and I choose to be okay with who I am now. And so there's this massive transformation that's happening. This is going through an egoic death and a spiritual rebirth here. And through that, you're claiming your power. And you're recognizing just how powerful you've been all along, where maybe you weren't letting yourself stand in that power, or maybe you were gifting that power away to people. You're no longer doing that. And so the good news today is really focusing on how you are standing in this place of seeing the truth of yourself. Like, you don't have to be mean to people. You don't have to be cruel to people. Like, you can still be friendly, kind, generous, and loving. But you can also set firm boundaries and choose to walk away from others that don't want to see your boundaries as something that's absolute. You know, when you say no, no means no. It's not, oh, maybe if you keep bothering me, right? It's not what that means. It means no. But sometimes no is one of the hardest words we can learn to use, because it's like we've been taught to be people pleasers, or we're just afraid of hurting people's feelings, or we're afraid someone's not going to like us if we tell them no. And so the good news that you need to hear right now is that you're letting that go. Like, it's just not going to be a part of your energy anymore. You're going to be able to say no to things and really choose to put yourself first, okay? So I'm going to use the Archangel Tarot today, and then we're going to get some clarifiers with the Osho Zen Tarot. I brought this out on a past pick a card reading, and I just really liked the energy that I brought, so I'm bringing them out again. But let's go ahead and see, Source, what good news does pile number 1 need to hear today? Thank you. What good news does pile number 1 need to hear today? What good news does pile number 1 need to hear today? Wow, okay, you're getting both your cards out. They want that one first and then that one. That I can do. All right. And we'll see what's on the bottom of the deck here. We have the Knight of Ariel, which is the Knight of Coins. We have trustworthy, understanding, devoted, funny. There's so much to accomplish. Make a very detailed plan, being watched over by someone kind. So I do feel like this is a message from someone who's watching over you that had trouble setting boundaries as well. And so by working with you in the physical realm from the spiritual realm, and you choosing to overcome that fear of saying no to people is actually helping uplift their energy as well. So this could be an ancestor. It could just be a guide. It's just someone who really feels close to you in some way, shape, or form. But they're with you, and they're really urging you to see that it's okay for you to be devoted to yourself. It's okay for you to understand what it is that you need. It's okay for you to trust in yourself and to be that person of stability in your life as well, and to walk towards what it is that you desire and not fear how people are going to see you, right? It's just saying, I truly desire, insert desire, so I'm going to go towards that no matter what, right? And that's a powerful place to be at. What do we have? Yes, so we start with the Emperor. Let's get it. We have Archangel Uriel. We have the 8 of Raphael, which is the 8 of Cups. And we have the 4 of Gabriel, which is the 4 of Wands. Yeah, you're shoring up old patterns here. I'm not going to read these. I'm really just going to read these like I would the Tarot Marseille today, because I feel like that's exactly what's coming in. You're standing in this powerful position. You're taking care of yourself, which allows you to take care of, heal, and help other people from a place of confidence, from a place of vitality, from a place of truth and honor of yourself. And from that, and the 8 of Cups in the Tarot Marseille talks about family. And I can't make this up. I'm just going to show you, if you did not see the shuffle, this is the card that we got in the beginning, was the Wolf Spirit family, right? And so we already have this. It has to do with family. We've got the 3rd house, which talks about people who seem like family because they've been in your life for so long, or even siblings. So we do have this remnants of family coming through here. And then with the Four of Wands, we're talking about letting go of things, like shoring up old patterns, shoring up old habits, letting go of things that aren't serving you, letting go of things that don't work for you anymore. It's like recognizing that, okay, maybe you do hold this title of family in my life, but just because you're family doesn't mean that you get the right to walk on me. And maybe before, that was where it felt like really hopeless, or maybe you had someone in your life that's very, very overpowering, and it didn't matter how strong you felt, or it didn't matter how much you tried to stand in your power. This person always did everything in their power to make you feel small again, right? Because they're feeling like you're in competition with them, that they have to challenge you, or that it's like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that pile one is standing in their power. How dare they? Right? Like they've always been my subservient, and so I'm going to step on their toes again. I want them to go back to that place where I feel like the emperor, even though that's emperor in reverse energy, right? That's being very narcissistic, that's being very manipulative, that's being very overbearing and controlling. It's like, it feels like maybe that's what you've been dealing with, is someone who's like that. And so now we see you're stepping into this place of saying, like, I don't care how you feel about it. I'm not in competition with you. I've never been in competition with you because we're completely different people. But before, maybe it didn't seem that way. Maybe it always felt like because they were putting you in a place of competition, you felt like there was that competition. And that's just an example here, right? It doesn't have to be competition. It could be anything. So it's just these roles that you're playing in the family dynamic. It's like they put you in a certain role, and for a while, maybe you happily, unhappily played that role, not knowing any better. And now you're seeing that that's just not good for you, and it's not a place that you would like to be at. And so you're really just allowing yourself to stand firm in your power here, and to stand in this place of saying, like, enough is enough. I'm going to leave this be. Right? You know there's something better out there. You know that you've done the spiritual work. You know that you've dived deep. You know that you've done what was necessary for you to stand in your power. And now the only place to stand in your power is through practice. And sometimes that's a lot easier said than done, right? So let's get some clarifiers with the Osho Zen. I know that sometimes some of these will mirror the Rider-Waite-Smith, but because I read the Tarot Marseille, that's how I'm going to read them. So you might see things seeming a little bit different, but this Osho Zen really does stand on its own, and that's why I picked it up. I really love this deck. I do a lot of my own readings with this deck too. So alright, Source, what good news does pile number one need right now? Feels like this is something that's just been hanging on for a while too. It's like you're really trying to move slowly towards what it is that you desire, but it's been so slow, and then you're dealing with this hardship of family not supporting you, or not being there for you energetically or emotionally, and having this hardship that's coming. And so it feels like you're leaving it for good. Like you're no longer going to be putting a lot of weight into what these people say or what this person says anymore. It's just like, you know what, they're going to think and feel however they think and feel, but that's not going to stop me from going towards what I want to manifest. Can we please, thank you. Yeah, we have the Master here. Wow. And I believe the Master is the extra card in the deck. I'll have to double check that. It could be an ace, but I do believe it's actually the extra card in the deck. Because we have red, blue, gray, and rainbow. Yeah, so that's the extra card in the deck. May you please clarify this Four of Gabriel here? Okay, thank you. Okay, and on the bottom of this deck, we have Courage, which is the Strength card. Yes, it is number 8, but in the Tarot Marseille, the Strength card is number 11, talking about the spiritual development that you go through when you choose to stand in your strength. I love the image that's depicted here, though, because it's like, look, despite the hardship, literally being between a rock and a hard place, you still have grown. You still have learned to love yourself. You still have come into this place of letting yourself blossom, even though it was really difficult, and even though the environment wasn't really up to par with what you needed, you still have found a way to let yourself shine. All right, so what do we have? exhaustion. Yeah, this is something, that's what I was saying, like that absolutely goes with what I was saying. It's like you could have been dealing with an emperor in the reverse, that very manipulative energy, and it's just very exhausting. It's very tiring having this energy that's like, I'm better than you. I can't believe that you would ever stand up to me. I can't believe that you would ever think that you could ever be better than me. And it's not even ever been about that. Like, it's so weird when family or friends think that, like it's competition between us like that. Like, and you never, you may have never set those boundaries or those lines, right? Like, yeah, of course I'm in competition with you. Like, you may have never ever said that. It's just all of a sudden they started treating you like you were competition because you started growing and glowing up, and now it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe pile one's leaving me behind. Well, of course, if they're not willing to choose to heal themselves, eventually someone who is choosing to heal themselves will eventually leave that. They'll vibrate out of that life, right? They'll vibrate out of that energy. Let me check on this card real quick and see. I just want to make sure, but I do believe that this is the extra card in the deck, is the Master. Yeah, the Master is the extra card in the deck. And it says, the Master in Zen is not a master over others, but a master of himself. His every gesture and his every word reflect his enlightened state. He has no private goals, no desires that anything should be other than the way it is. His disciples gather around him not to follow him, but to soak up his presence and be inspired by his example. In his eyes, they find their own truth reflected, and in his silence, they fall more easily into the silence of their own beings. The Master welcomes the discipline not because he wants to lead them, but because he has so much to share. Together, they create an energy field that supports each unique individual in finding his or her own light. If you can find such a master, you are blessed. If you cannot, keep on searching. Learn from the teachers and the would-be masters and move on. So just keep moving. Keep on moving. I feel like Dory coming through. Keep on swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Right? So it's like, that's the mastery within you. It's like not holding on to the identity that was there. That's what I was saying earlier. It's like you're no longer identifying with whatever it was that was keeping you small or keeping you in this place of suppression or oppression, right? Like, it's, yes, we can blame others, but ultimately we're the only thing that's standing in our way. And that's why I love the Osho Zen Tarot, because it's very, very, very direct in that no one can make you do what you don't want to do. But we see here, you fought for so long before it was like, okay, what can I change within myself? And what you changed was stepping into an enlightened phase of realizing, I'm letting go of this belief. And then we have slowing down here, which I believe this is the Knight of Earth. Yeah, you got the Knight of Coins twice, I believe. So with this image, though, like looking at this image, it's like, look, there's the rainbow here, right? You're slowing down. You're no longer rushing to get somewhere. You're no longer in this place of like, I have to get there. It's the Knight. So it's the Knight of Rainbows, right? But it's also the Knight of Coins. And you're no longer like in this place of like trying to become something. It's like unbecoming all that stuff that everyone else told you you had to be, that especially family might have forced on you, that friends might have forced on you. Like, you're only accepted as this box, and you're like, no, I'm so much more than that, and I choose to be so much more than that, right? The master, it's like you mastered your own thoughts, you mastered your own mind. It's becoming detached from the identity and stepping into that powerful place, not to exert that power over others. It's not about that. It's about exerting that power in a way that serves you best, and knowing that you don't have to fall into the constructs and conforming and doing all these things that everyone else is doing. Like, everyone's looking for a way to find and buy the next best thing. Like, I don't know why, but they're showing me an iPhone. It's like everybody wants the newest version of the iPhone, and it's like you're happy with your beat up old Android. It's like, I'm not worried about getting that new iPhone because it does not change who I am. But not everybody sees it that way, right? There's so many people who believe that material things give them clout, that gives them status, and it's like you've drawn your energy away from those things. And now you've come into, and you're completely different, right? These are two different shapes. Like, you're completely different from that. And you've expanded yourself. And so the good news that you need to hear is that you're no longer falling into that trap of the down the rabbit hole energy where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm a victim in my family, right? Sometimes that belief holds on so much that we don't recognize that we're actually falling back into it when we get triggered. And so it's like, now you recognize the triggers, and as the triggers come, it's like being enlightened on the spot, in place. So it's like very immediate here, right? I feel like that's the thing. It's a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope here for you now. Hope that I get to live the way that I want to live, right? And we have Earth on the bottom, so persistence, patience, and practicality, right? That slowing down energy, even with the Knight of Coins, it's like that persistence. You just keep moving forward. You keep going forward, and it's slow and steady, but you know you're going to get to wherever it is that you're meant to go, because you're just living for the right now. Whatever happens today is what's happening today, and it doesn't have to be anything other than what it is. We have the Sunshine Yellow Dragon. The Sunshine helps you to help animals. So serve animals, heal, respect, and understand them. So you could be in a place where you're working with animals. This card has come out quite a bit, and I love that this card is coming out here because I feel like it's just hope again, right? Sunshine. When the sun comes out after clouds or after it snows or rains or whatever, there's just that place of hope. And animals, they bring us so much hope as well and rebalance our energy in so many beautiful ways. And so that's why I feel like this card is coming out today. May I please have an archetype for this reading? Okay, yeah, Child Eternal. Okay, so we've got the light attributes are determining to remain young in body, mind, and spirit. The ability to see things with fresh eyes. Exactly, that's the new hope here. The shadow is the inability to grow up and be responsible. Extreme dependency on others for physical security. Excuse me, maybe that's what has happened here. It's like you were relying on others to help you out in a time that you needed. It wasn't extreme dependency, but it was like, it felt like extreme dependency, and maybe those people expected you to conform to however they thought you needed to be, or it was just like you needed some help for something in general, and it was like, oh, I'll help you, but I'll only help you to throw this back in your face later. You know, there's a lot of people who don't help out of the kindness of their heart. They help so that they have a just in case. And that's what it feels like. So whoever this person is, or whoever these people are, it feels like they're helping so that they have a just in case, or they have helped you so that they could have a just in case. And that's what was triggering that feeling of insecurity and like the exhaustion too, and like you were identifying with whatever that was. And so something has happened here where it's like your guide, right? Like your guide here, your angel, whoever this is, right, that's helping you with this, has helped lift you up and bring you in. There's a little, I don't know if you can see this butterfly right here, right? There's that little butterfly that they're reaching out towards, brought you into this place of transformation, like to reach for something new. It's time to just see something different here. We have the priest energy on the bottom with the light, as facilitates spiritual commitments and serves as a channel of spiritual energy. Yes. The shadow violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. And I feel like whoever it is that's in your energy right now, they're in this shadow place. They're trying to use their energetic overbearing to overthrow the light attribute where you're helping others in this beautiful place of love. And it's like they've been able to do it so far, but the only reason that they've been able to do it is because you weren't entirely healed and you were still getting, triggered by that. And so the good news here is that you've overcome that and you're letting that go, and it's no longer something that's weighing on you so heavily. The cat joker. These cat jokers are next level. We have number 7. The time has come for action. You will receive all only by being prepared to give all. And I feel like that's something you're absolutely coming into the understanding of. It's like, if I give myself everything I need, then I'll have everything that I need to give to others, which helps me to receive anything that I'm asking for. Yes, we have Gemini energy here, curiosity, intellect, and networking, which is also third house energy. So again, that confirmation that this is something that had to do with early childhood learning, something that affected you from being a child, especially with child eternal coming out here as well. It's like this has been with you for a really long time. This could have been because of an Aries. This could have been because of a Pisces. This could have been because of a Taurus, a Sagittarius. Yeah, there's just a lot. It could have been an Aquarius energy as well. You picked the star, it could be Aquarius, or these signs could mean something as well. You could have them highly aspect in your chart. These other people could have them highly aspect in their chart. But it's like you're now coming into this place of seeing the world through eyes of wonder and seeing the world as something that's meant to be explored instead of something that's meant to weigh so heavily on your shoulders. You know, and then we have, yes, the fire dragon. This is so crazy. This card has come out so much this last week. You may have seen other readings with this card. And so I feel like this is just that continual confirmation that it's like you walked into the fire and so much is being burned away from you. It burns up the lower energies around you. You are safe and protected. Be determined and inspired and clear your soul pathway. When I say this card has come out, like it's come out at least in 4 daily dice and another pick a card. So you could absolutely be one of my regulars is watching constantly. And so it's just that continual confirmation you want a card's coming out. And this is saying it's not necessarily you that's burning up those energies, right? It's just the choices that you're making are letting you connect with higher energies that are helping you to release this lower vibrational, this negative, heavy, dark energy. And then we have Rose Murda and abundance. Abundance and wealth are now flowing toward you. Prepare to be receptive at every level in order to receive all that awaits you. Yeah, and so this is a gift. This is a gift from the divine. This is like gold light protection. This is bringing in abundance in the form of monetary gain, in the form of health, in the form of a living situation change, whatever it is. It's just you're going to be very abundant moving forward. So let's take a look at your Sacred Forest card. Yes, I love this. We have the hummingbird, the hummingbird spirit with number 22, which is a master number. Trusting the process, says joy. Yeah, I feel like it's just been really hard for you to find happiness. It literally almost turned, I opened up to 21 instead of 22. All right, so I feel like it's just been really hard for you to have fun and to enjoy life. And now you're coming into a space of really just having joy again. It says, in the sacred forest, hummingbirds have incredibly beautiful auras. A shimmering, sparkling frequency surrounds them. Look, a shimmering, sparkling frequency from the gold Rose Merda and abundance card too. With every flower they dip into, the colors of their aura and their frequencies of their energy shifts. Each one hovers directly before you without fear, flashing its iridescent colors in the sun. The vibration of their wings sound like the universal Om, which is the seed sound for the Sahasrara or the crown chakra. It says, open your heart to celebration and fun. Who told you that you need to suffer to grow? Your soul expands and leaps and bounds through following your bliss and expressing your love. Embrace life, yourself, and others in the moment. If you've been waiting until circumstances are different before you allow yourself to experience joy, you may have to have a long wait. Life is always changing. If you don't follow your bliss now, when will you? Your purpose in life is to experience joy. Take steps toward that now while protecting your personal boundaries. And didn't we say that? Like, you're coming into a place where you're being really strong with your boundaries. I love this confirmation. You don't need to do everything all at once, but you do need to start. Happiness spreads to others like wildfire and can help heal the world. Although hummingbirds are small, they are capable of traveling great distances and can even fly backward. Their presence is a reminder that life is not just about reaching the destination, it's about the joy of the journey. Hummingbirds visit an average of 1,000 flowers a day because they expend tremendous amounts of energy. It's necessary to have periodic times of rest. That slowing down energy here. Follow their example and remember to replenish yourself. The spirit of hummingbird says, replenish yourself. True happiness comes from following the dictates of your soul. Life is change. Be open to change and look for joy in the moment. Find your boundaries and stand strong. Discover your joy. All is well. Oh my gosh, I love this reading for you, Pile 1. I absolutely love this. I hope this found you well. That's what I see for you today. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little star emoji. I'll let you pick which one, but leave the little star emoji down below and say, trust the process by stepping into my joy and enlighten my life with celebration so that I may see abundance all around me. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all those links in the description box. In order to do so, you can email me for personal reading. You can follow me on over to my podcast on Spotify at Scatter Love Radio. You could even join as a member. I would love to see you on memberships, but if not, thank you so much for your continued support here. I'm going to go ahead and leave this there, but I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angels, source, my spirit guides for coming through to give us this message. And until next time, pile number 1, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to the moon card here, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on the good news you need right now. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey, this channel, this ever-growing tribe. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And anyone that's new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience, that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And for those of you that do choose to share your stories in the comment, just know I read them all, and I'm so grateful to have you all here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out for pile 2 source, what is the good news that they need right now? What is the good news that pile number 2 needs right now? What is the good news that pile number 2 needs right now, source? What is the good news that pile number 2 needs right now? Okay, so we've got South Node, 8th house, and Virgo energy. Interesting. Letting go of control. That's what I just heard right now. It came in so loud. So letting go of control. Right? Anytime we have the 8th house, we're talking about stuff that's very, taboo, things that people don't want to talk about, the things that people oftentimes will hide from, and they like want to sweep it under the rug, right? So with the 8th house, we have that all coming to light here. And with the South Node especially, it's like, it's tired of staying in the dark, like tired of trying to hide from yourself, trying to control every little bit of yourself. And one of the shadow aspects here of Capricorn energy is being very rigid, is being very controlling, is being very overbearing energy. And so it's like, I feel like though that's not having to do with other people, okay? What this is saying is it's like having to do with yourself, how you've treated yourself, how it is that you've talked to yourself, what it is that you've done for yourself in the past. And so you've done a lot of shadow work and you've dug deep and you're like going through all those hardships. This is something I definitely feel like you're very disciplined at, that you are very structured when it comes to your healing. Like if you notice something arising, you will more than likely sit down, journal it out, or contemplate it for a while to let it go. Like, why do I act this way? Why does this affect me? Why is this a trigger for me? How deep does this go? And it's just like, I feel like you keep going down the layers. You keep going down the layers. And definitely with the South Node here, it's like all about the stuff that you've done up until this point, right? The path that we followed, the journey that we've been on, the things that we found were comfortable, even though they were uncomfortable. We just kept doing the same thing over and over again. And so it's like, I feel like you may have found repeating patterns. And when they continued to repeat, even though you were doing healing, it stopped being about the pattern and it became more about yourself, right? And so what they're showing here is that like you're coming into a space where you're finally letting go of control, and it's like whatever emotion arises, whatever memory arises, it's like instead of trying to force that back down into the depths of yourself, it's you're being open to allowing it to come in. It's like, okay, I'm ready to let this come through. I'm ready to deal with this. I'm ready to face this part of myself. I'm ready to know what it is that I have tried to bury, that I find despising or despicable, and know that it's a part of me and that it deserves love too, and that that's just some way that I've shown up in the past. It does not reflect who I am as a whole. And I feel like for a long time there's this energy that's coming in where it's like you've allowed those actions to be a reflection of who you are, and that's what you're healing. And so the good news here is you're letting go of holding on to this identity, or this, it's not even an identity, it's just this feeling that all the bad things that you've done, if you don't share them with people, or if you don't even share them with yourself, they somehow disappear. Right? And that's the control that's there. It's not even the identity. It's literally about trying to keep it in the closet. Cleaning out my closet. Who sings that song? Is that an Eminem song? Oh, geez. I don't know. Anyways, if you know, you can more than welcome to comment that down below. The lyrics might hold more meaning. I think it's called Cleaning Out My Closet. But that's what it felt like. Like that was coming in. It was like they're not showing me anymore. I know the song. I can't even tell it to you right now because it's not about the song. It's just that line is cleaning out my closet. Like that's what it feels like. It's like you're cleaning out the closet of your life. So let's get some. Today I'm using the Archangel Power Tarot cards. And then we're going to get clarifiers from the Osho Zen Tarot. And like I said, on pile 1, I'm going to say the same thing here, is that some of these may mirror the Tarot Marseille. But since, or I'm sorry, the Rider-Waite-Smith. But since I read Tarot Marseille, I'm going to read them as the Tarot Marseille, because that's what I've read for forever. That's what I read. And yeah, so... Plus, the Zen, they stand out on their own, and I specifically got the angel cards because they were very closely related to the Tarot Marseille. Not entirely, but very closely. So, Source, what good news does pile number 2 need right now? Okay, thank you. All right, what good news does pile number 2 need right now, Source? Whoa, okay. Same thing happened in pile 1, where they threw out like that 2 in a row. 2 in a row. All right. You could have come from pile 1. You don't have to. Just know that, like, if I'm mentioning another pile, it is never an obligation that you have to watch it unless you feel drawn to it, okay? So on the bottom, we have the King of Michael. Ooh, I love this. Principled, rational, ambitious, and respected. Wisdom and objectivity are important now. Stay in your integrity, a situation that calls for honest and open communication. This is what I'm saying. It's like you're feeling that energy. You're feeling that pull. It's like necessary for you to really focus on what is it about you that is playing a role in whatever this trigger is, right? It's not so much about the other person or the situation, whatever's outside of you. That's not what it's about anymore, right? And it's like, well, how is that good news? Well, that's good news because the healing that comes from that is massive. It helps you to set firm boundaries. It helps you to stand in your power. It helps you to see your worth. It helps you to see your value. It helps you to understand that there's no longer a reason to play small. And holy Toledo, there's like the biggest rig that just drove by in front of me. Seriously, that is a massive rig that went by. Exactly. Like you get to be expansive in this world and be seen, and people can gawk at you, right? And it's not about the people gawking at you, but it's just like because you're choosing to be honest with yourself, it's gonna happen, especially with 8th house energy here. It's like people are gonna be jealous. People are gonna be concerned about it. People are gonna try and possess you. They're gonna try and overthrow you. But it's not going to make any difference because it's like no matter how a person shows up, you're going to be in this King of Michael energy, or the King of Swords, where it's like you're just going to be like very honest with yourself. You're going to be very honest with them and just be like, look, this is who I am. This is where I'm at. Like if we don't resonate, we don't resonate. If we don't vibe, we don't vibe. Like it's cool, but it's not, no beef against you, no beef against me. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the road and move on later, right? Like It's just this very direct, honest energy. Look, we even have the King of Raphael, the King of Cups. Yeah, exactly. You're just very comfortable, kind, generous energy. Like, you're not being a jerk about it. You're just being real. We have the Six of Raphael. And I'm not going to read the energy on the bottom here. We have the Knight of Michael. That's the Knight of Swords. Yeah, you're just... I love this. Let me start with the Knight of Michael, because the Knight of Michael is all about being your own hero, right? Like, the Knight of Swords is just you saving yourself from yourself. It's not about you saving yourself from other people. It's literally about you saving yourself from yourself. We're our own worst enemy, which also means we get to become our own best ally, right? And so it's exactly what you've done. And with the Six of Raphael here, you know, it's all about love, right? And the Six of Cups in the Tarot Marseille is the soulmate card. Like, that would be the deepest soulmate card that I have in the deck. It's not the Two of Cups, it's not the Ace of Cups. Literally the Six of Cups is like this just beautiful union of love. So with it being here at the middle of your reading, and then we have this embracing your inner child, right? And this is like going back to childhood. It's like recognizing that you get to love and save that inner child within you. But not only that, it's like you get to let that inner child express itself out into this realm in a very unique and beautiful way. And in loving that part of yourself, you know that you can be, look, we even have the Queen, the King and Queen of Cups coming out here. You know that you can be kind and understanding and compassionate to others, but if it doesn't fit, it's not going to ship. Like, that's it. If it just doesn't work together, we're just not going to try and force it together. That's just not what's going to happen. I'm going to follow my heart and do the things that work best for me. I'm going to do what I find as healthy for myself as I possibly can. I do feel like, since this is your good news, yes, you could potentially have a love relationship coming in because you have King and Queen together. You have King and Queen of the same suit here. I'm just curious. And the 10 of coins here. Like, there's a lot of abundance here. There's just a lot of abundance. There's a lot of individuals here, but I feel like you're the embodiment of all these energies. You're very kind, compassionate, but you're also not just giving your energy willy-nilly. You've coming into this place of being very mature emotionally and understanding that your power comes from sometimes being silent, sometimes saying something, sometimes just moving on and just letting people be. It comes from loving yourself entirely, but it also comes from saving yourself from situations that aren't serving you, and also having that firmness to say when things aren't serving you either. And so the good news here is that this is like, you can't get more balanced than that. This is a balancing of the masculine and the feminine energies here. You have complete mastery over your mind, which gives you mastery and skill over the emotions. And that's why it's like with the South Node here, I feel like that was something that was very difficult for you to do in the past because your mind might have spiraled out. It wouldn't surprise me if you're that one person that has so much going on in their mind that anxiety is rampant and you go down these crazy rabbit holes, and it's like by the time you finally fish yourself out, it's like you've lived 10 lifetimes in this one rabbit hole that has been awful and traumatizing and scary, and you've lived all your worst fears, even though it wasn't real. It was real because that was where your emotions and your mind was taking you. And so to master that part of your mind, and again, you're not alone. Like, this is not something that you're dealing with by yourself. There are absolutely other people who've dealt with this, who are dealing with this. So don't ever feel alone in that. But it's like this energy, it's like you had to take that strength and time and patience to really master your mind, save yourself from yourself, right? Like the Knight of Swords is so powerful. It's like everybody's like, oh no, it's fast communication, which is fine. It can be fast communication, but from the Tarot Marseille aspect, it's really about being your own damn hero. And I don't usually curse, but that's really what it boils down to, is you coming in and saving yourself from sometimes a situation, but in this energy, it's very much a saving yourself from yourself. You were your own worst enemy. in the south node energy, we're trying to control every little aspect of things, like trying to make things fit together. It's like when you're trying to force the circle into the square hole, like just go in. You even get the little hammer and you start pounding on it. I'm gonna make this fit, and it's just not meant to fit, right? And so you're over here pounding and pounding and pounding, and finally you gave up and you threw the circle away, and you're like, dang, where's that stupid square? I'm gonna put it in there, and the square fits, and you're like, okay, I can rest easy now, right? Like, that's what it feels like. It's just like finally giving up, trying to force something that's just not meant to be in there. And likewise with your energy, it's like seeing that this energy just wasn't serving you, and that it was creating a lot more turmoil and sorrow than was worth your time and energy and effort. And so it's like finally just saying like, well, hold on, where's this real issue coming from? So it's like this could have been triggered by anything. This could have just been triggered by a phrase that someone said. This could have been triggered by a way that someone looked at you. It could have even been triggered by someone sneezing. And just suddenly here we go down the rabbit hole of me thinking of all these different things and getting lost in the mind. And so you've definitely come a long way by mastering your heart, by mastering your mind, by mastering even your soul, right? It's like coming into this place like, I'm ready to follow what my heart wants me to do, and I don't want to get stuck in this, I have to fit into this box or this frame that other people are putting me in, because I don't fit in it. It's too uncomfortable. It's again, I'm a circle and they're trying to shove me into the square hole and it's not working, right? Or I'm a square and they're trying to shove me in the circle hole. It's just not going to work, right? So as much as you were doing it, there might have been other people who were doing that to you from a young age, right? Especially with embracing your inner child here with the Six of Raphael. And you finally let that go. And so we see heart healing, which has led to throat chakra healing, which is you being able to finally voice into this world what's important for you. Okay, they want me to shuffle this 2 times. I can definitely do that. We have the King of Swords making an appearance as I shuffle here. So I now know why they wanted me to shuffle. But look, I can't make this up. We have the Control. And I feel like this wants to be out. I'm just going to put this out on top of the King of Swords again. But this is the King of Swords in this deck. And it's all about control. And that's what we talked about. It's like you're letting go of control. Like this energy is very palpable. It's like I could cut it with a knife. And it's like I also feel the freedom that's coming. The good news of you finally letting go. And look at this. All these very harsh lines in this card. Like this king, he's taking up this whole deck, but he's only taking it up because he's letting everything expand from him in a very harsh type of way. Like there's no softness to this energy. Yes, there might be a sense of enlightenment, but the more rigid that we are, the more that we try to keep things in control, and the sharper we are and the harsher we are with ourselves, and even the harsher we are with others. We don't let ourselves grow into this soft, loving energy that the King of Cups can bring, right? And so that's what it feels like here. It's like letting go of that control. It's interesting that they wanted me to shuffle, and that was the card that came out right there. So we're going to leave that out. I'm going to give this one more shuffle here. Look, and then we have the Four of... Actually, this is the Emperor coming out on the bottom with the Rebel. And see, it's like breaking the chains, right? You've broken the chains. This is something that's no longer holding you back, right? And we have the Falcon here and the fire. And it's like you went into the fire so that you could learn how to soar above it and see things from a much higher perspective and see things very clearly, right? It might not be the eagle, but you still have that clear vision, that clear sight, and coming into that very powerful place. Right? You could also very highly resonate with certain birds. Like birds will come and find you when you need certain messages, and they're saying to pay attention to that. We have the Chariot coming out with awareness here. Yeah, looking through the veil. Look, and this looks like a little child coming through here. It also looks like a Buddha statue coming out of this person, like they're trying to look through, or they're feeling stuck behind the smoke, right? But the truth is that when you finally let the smoke reside, you see who you are. And so you're no longer being stuck in that place of the smoke, right? What the smoke was bringing, the South Node energy. It's like convincing you of something that wasn't real, convincing you of the illusion and helping you to fall into that illusion. And I forgot that you guys had the moon. They just reminded me that you picked the moon, and the moon really does talk about those illusions. Wow, this is a lot coming out. We have the Queen of Cups, we have the Ten of Cups, and we have the Six of Cups again. So we have great receptivity, harmony, and the dream. And I feel like this is just showing like you're finally finding balance within this world and connecting that mind and heart and seeing that there is abundance in that. But it's all about abundance with your emotions too. Being very giving and kind to yourself. You're opening up like this lotus flower here. You're beginning to see things for as they are and not getting so caught up in the dream world that once was, right? Like on the outside sitting, watching something else unfold for you, or watching something else unfold for someone else that you wanted. Like you're not so caught up in that anymore, trying to be something that, you know, other people wanted you, that sense of control. I feel like it's coming down to this, like I'm letting go of trying to figure out every step of my life and instead coming into a state of flow. Yeah, we have the Empress coming out here. Creativity. That beautiful harmony. You know, this just a gorgeous energy. It's like really leaning into the beauty of life, to give and receive love, finding balance and harmony, opening up to your creativity, becoming very magnetic on the journey, and loving, and very, very, very loving, but from a place of power, not a giver, right? Not an overgiver, but someone who gives in a balanced way because of this awareness, because of seeing the story now, seeing who you are. Let's get one more for the Knight of Swords here. Can you please have a... Whoa, okay, we're going to take that one, even though these flipped over. This one went flying over here. We have stress with the Seven of Wands. And look at this monkey. He's going to try and pop the balloon. And then this idea, you've like walked into the fire, but at first it felt very goofy. At first it felt very unnatural for you to walk away from the South Node energy. And it's like the monkey had to come in and like take you down to your, right, to the level of realizing that it wasn't exactly what maybe you thought it was. This is like a realization, especially with the King of Swords coming out twice here. It's like this realization that not everything is as it seems, right? Like we see one side of the picture and we're not seeing the whole necessarily. Even as psychics and as intuitives and empaths, sometimes we're only just seeing one version of the picture, and that's okay, right? That's okay, because that helps us to understand that there's another side to the picture that we can choose to put on that shoe if we want. And so I feel like at first you didn't want to see things from the whole picture, right, outside of the box, and something happened that was very stressful, but you actually overcame it. You persevered through that, and through that now you had to reground yourself, and in grounding yourself you came into this place of really healing yourself. We've got the Ten of Swords on the bottom with rebirth, right? Rising out of the ashes, rising up out of the sorrow, the hurt, and the pain. This is a camel here, and camels, I know they don't need a lot of water. I don't actually know what the spiritual meaning of camel is, but I just was like, they don't need a lot of water. They don't need a lot to sustain them. And so it feels like whatever it was in your emotional ego, it didn't need a lot to sustain itself. It just needed enough. And now it's like singing a different song here to yourself, singing a different story to yourself. We had the burden and success. They both flipped out. We have the Six of Wands and the Six of Swords here. And so you see it's like letting down the burden here and coming into a place of success, but a success around the world, right? So you could be being seen around the world, but you could also just be having this journey ahead of you. I was getting travel before I got to your reading, so you could be traveling soon. That's something for you. Look, I picked up the deck and the Four of Wands came out with participation. So there's something that's coming for you here. Are these elephants? Are these people just praying? I guess they're people just praying, but they look like elephants to me, which is weird. They kind of look like other things too, but definitely looking like elephants here. And then we had comparison coming out with the 5 of Swords. Yeah, there might have been a comparison here that was keeping you in lack and suffering, but here we see it's just letting go of control. And by letting go of control, you're coming into a place of success. Wow. I feel like yours had so much, just with all these people energies coming through, but it was just you. Like, it's you. Yeah, look, Saturn. Feeling restricted, experiencing struggle, learning hard work, and patience. This has been a very difficult time for you, right? But it's been with purpose. You've been learning something very, very good here, like very, very valuable, especially when it comes to that sense of controlling every aspect of your life or trying to control the outcome, right? Or trying to control manifestation. Sometimes we get stuck on that too. And so this is Capricorn energy here, right? And Saturn is the planet of tough love. Then we have the moon, and you picked the moon here, which is amazing. We have satisfy emotional needs, nurturing self and others. And so it's time for you to come into a place of being honest with yourself. Is this really serving me by trying to manipulate or trying to control my journey or trying to, to let things overwhelm me in the way that they have? We have the Earth and Air Dragon, which flipped over. Represents a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Stay balanced, ground your visions, and manifest your hopes and dreams. And that's what I was feeling with this too, is like this balancing out of masculine and feminine energies. We also have Kuan Yin's pink dragon, brings firm love, tough love, that represents your karmic balance. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. We have the Empress, the Empress energy here, which is all about balance. See all your cards dissolved by transcendent love. Enjoy your freedom. Look for the divine around you. One second, the dogs are barking. So you're definitely coming into this place of being balanced, finding balance in your journey, okay? All right, so let's get some more. May I please have an archetype card for this reading? Okay, I don't know why, but you're getting like 2 of everything here. So we do have the Father energy on the bottom, which is talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. And the shadow is dictatorial control, abuse of authority. So this could have absolutely been connected to the father wound. Like you could have had a very controlling father, and thus that translated into you trying to control every aspect of your life, right? It's not that you're doing something bad, right? We oftentimes look at control as this worst case possible, or worst scenario possible, or worst case scenario, and it's not. It's something that oftentimes we do because we're so afraid of losing control. So we end up controlling things, and sometimes we're not even realizing that we're trying to control them, right? So we have Induna and Lucy Liu here with 27. You're being tested to take the next step into a wonderful new phase of life. You must make significant changes to your attitudes and your beliefs, purifying your soul, taking out this energy so that you can be open and honest with yourself in a very profound way. So you're child wounded, yeah, so this is definitely a father wound energy here. You're letting it go and coming into this very balanced place. We have the light attributes are awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness, and the shadow is blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds and resists moving on through forgiveness. And I feel like this is what might have been happening to you at some point, was sitting and blaming your family for the way that they treated you. It's mom's fault, oh, it's dad's fault, oh, it's my brother's fault, my sister's fault, my grandparents, my caregivers. It was all their fault. They should have gotten their stuff together so I didn't have to suffer, which is what we do when we start the journey and we realize about all our childhood wounds. We blame our caretakers. It's just something that we do because that's society. Society tells us to blame others, and so we're learning how to let that go. But it looks like you've let that go, and instead of being in that blame, you've begun to forgive, and in that forgiveness you come into a very profound balanced state. We have Midas and Miser. Light attributes are entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything into gold. delights in sharing life's riches, and the shadow is hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. And I feel like this is also something that's coming through, which does connect with the father wound, is our ability to manifest money. And so whatever it was that's been blocking you from manifesting money, that is going to lift now, and you're going to be seeing a raise in income soon, okay? Look, we have Mars energy here with Charitas, and it's number 18. Understand that nothing is wholly good or evil, and that even the strongest poison can heal in the right dose. And I love that this came out, because it's just that reminder that, well, it's easy for us to label others as evil or bad, or, you know, like I said, blaming our parents for all the hardships that we've gone through. And maybe they were really difficult. Maybe we experienced some very difficult situations, some very bad situations. But also from that, you're a golden star. So that bad situation, you're still a golden star. It's not wholly evil, is it? Because there's good in that. You're the good. And so we have to look at things from a different place and come into that state of forgiveness for things that maybe we didn't have control over. And that's why the control was coming in here. It's like I didn't have control over the way I was treated as a child. So instead I decided I could control everything in my life. But that has created a lot of sense of being out of control. And especially with the Capricorn energy here, that rigid energy. We have that rigid energy being brought up again with the King of Swords from the Osho Zen. And so you're letting that go and letting that belief go and coming into a more fluid time. Let's see what your sacred 4 historical card is. Stability with Earth Spirit, number 15, which is 5. So this is absolutely a very uncomfortable place of change, but a very necessary place of change. Now, for those of you wondering about love, we do have the swans on the bottom here. There's 2 swans here, so this could be love too. Or knowing that healing the father wound here, which also with Mars points towards the father wound too, you're healing this, and in healing this, this could be bringing in a love that's stable into your life, okay? For those of you that are interested in it. And it's interesting because right beneath this one, for 13, is the eagle spirit. And we talked about the eagle. It wasn't it was the hawk that came through instead of the eagle, but it's still very profound. Okay, so it says, in the lazy quietude of a warm summer afternoon, you recline on the soft moss on the forest floor and listen to the heartbeat of the earth. Her rhythmic cadence surges up from the ground beneath you. With each beat, you remember who you are and what is truly important in life. The strengthening, grounding energy of earth is filling every part of you. It's time to take measure of your life and put your roots down. Assess who you are and where you are. Make plans for the future, but don't act on those plans until you feel secure in stepping forward. This is a time of preparation and going deeper. This card can also indicate that you are grounded and you need to create more stability in your life. Think things through before taking action. Take time to plan your future carefully. Don't rush into anything. Strength is growing within you. Security and protection surround you. You are safe. If you're thinking of making secure financial investments and receive this card, it's telling you that this is a good time to do so. It's not a time to take risk. This earth spirit provides the trees, plants, flowers, rivers, streams, oceans, mountains, and valleys, and supports us all on her bounty. She's stable and strong in her devotion to us. You're supported and loved, even if you're not always sure of it. The seeds that you plant now will bring abundance in the future, but only if you take time to nurture those new beginnings. The spirit of earth says, be present in the moment. Slow down and let go of the busyness and the frenetic pace of life. Explore your roots, honor your past, go deep, and reflect on your life. And that's what I feel like you've been doing. And by doing that, you're bringing this sense of stability into your life. So you're healing. And really the good news that you needed now is that your healing has been worth it. Like, maybe you've been wondering, is any of this worth it? Have I done anything good for myself? Like, it just feels like it's never ending. But there's so many things that have shifted within your energy and that are continuing to shift that, yes, it has been worth it and it continues to be worth it. Okay, so this is what I see for you here. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little moon emoji down below and say, I choose to honor and appreciate all the shadow work that I've done, and I let go of control and surrender to the fluidity of this process. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you left a thumbs up, if you subscribed, if you commented down below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, you will find all those links in the description box in order to do so. You can email me for a personal reading. You can follow me on over to my podcast on Spotify at Scatter Love Radio. You can even join as a member, and I would love to see you on memberships, but if not, thank you so much for your continued support here. Want to send a shout out to your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, my spirit guides for coming through to give us this amazing message. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to the Sun card, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on the good news you need right now. First thing, I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey, this channel, this ever-growing tribe. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anyone that is new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And for those of you that choose to share your story in the comments, just know that I'm so honored that you feel safe enough to share that here, and I truly do appreciate you. With that being said, though, let's go ahead and hop to your reading and find out, Source, what is the good news that pile number 3 needs right now? What is the good news that pile number 3 needs right now, Source? What is the good news that pile number 3 needs right now? What is the good news that pile number 3 needs right now? Okay, so we've got the 8th house. We've got Pisces energy, and we've got the moon. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer all coming out together. It's a lot of watery energy coming through for your reading. You could have Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer highly aspect in your chart. You could have a trine in the water. You could have Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Sun, Moon, Rising, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or something like that. But a lot of water. If not, that's okay. It doesn't mean this isn't your reading. It's just something that's coming out right away. So a lot of emotion, right? Anytime we're dealing with all 3 water signs, it's just a lot of emotion. There's a lot of good emotion. There's a lot of tumultuous emotion. There's a lot of overwhelming emotion. There's a lot of just loving energy and emotion that's coming from that as well. Well, with the 8th house, I do feel like this does indicate the mother wound with the moon and the 8th house coming out together. It's just talking about how it was very difficult for you to nurture yourself, to be there for yourself, to express your emotions. With so much water coming through, I feel like that's something you may struggle with or have struggled with quite a bit in the past, is expressing those emotions. And like, what does that mean? If I'm never able to be vulnerable like that, what can I do? There might have been a lot of shame or guilt whenever you were a child and you tried to express those emotions, and you're being called now to be open about that and to be giving with that, but it's been something that you might have struggled with. And so I feel like whatever the struggle is, it's been around that you are finally overcoming that. Right? You're digging deep, you're going in and you're doing the work, but you're also integrating and being honest with yourself about how you feel and taking care of not only your inner mother, but your inner child. It's like you're letting the inner mother of you nurture the inner child of you when anything comes up. It's like when you're angry, it's like you right away step in. It's like, oh, I know I'm angry. Like, I'm here for you. What do you need? What do we need to talk about? What do we need to discuss? What do we need to observe? And in doing that, it's like you're letting go of the weight that's been put on your shoulders from that. And there's a huge transformation that's coming through here. There's a huge rebirth that's coming through here, and it's like letting go of any of the jealousy that might have been present, any of the possessions that might have been present, like trying to possess certain things, trying to hold on to certain things as well, being intimidated by others, being worried about others, being comparing towards others, you know, like, oh my gosh, I'll never be as good as so and so. Like, all these emotions, they're coming to light right now, and there's a lot of healing that's coming with that, especially deep-rooted emotions of guilt, shame, fear of not being good enough, fear of not being worthy enough, and things that have been very like passive aggressive towards yourself is coming to light. And so there's a lot of healing here, and really this whole reading has been about how much the collective has been healing. It's been very different. There's been a lot of different energies that have come in, and yours is absolutely different than the other two. What we do see here, it's just a lot of emotional well-being and a lot of emotional healing that's coming out for you. And that is a very powerful thing, right? I know that might not seem like a lot of good news, but it is when your emotions are no longer controlling you and you're allowing your spirit to take root. And when you allow your spirit to take root, you're able to follow what it is that your heart desires without fear of insert whatever it is that was holding you back. Fear of imposter syndrome, fear of not being good enough, fear of not being talented enough, fear of not having enough, or whatever it is. It's like letting that go and finally realizing, like, dealing with this is saving me a lot of trauma in the long run, because I'm facing the trauma from the past, and I'm no longer going to let people into my life that aren't aligned with what it is that I'm doing or who it is that I am, right? So becoming your own best friend. Thank you. Let's get some cards on it. I'm going to be using the Archangel Power Tarot cards, and we're going to get clarifiers from the Osho Zen. You might notice some similarities to the Rider-Waite-Smith, but just know, because I read Tarot Marseille, I'm going to be reading them as I would my Tarot Marseille decks, because that's what I learned on, that's what I read. What good news does pile number 3 need right now? Thank you, Source. What good news does pile number 3 need right now? Networking is something that keeps coming out as well, so I feel like it's very important for you to continue networking for your business, for yourself, for whatever it is that you're trying to do. Maybe a company that you work for. It's like getting to know people. That's a good thing for you. That will help you out greatly. Okay, what good news does pile number 3 need to know right now? Okay, thank you. Right, Source, what good news does pile number 3 need to know right now? What good news does pile number 3 need to know right now? The King of Swords, okay. What good news does pile number 3 need to know right now? Thank you. All right, on the bottom, we have, the Knight of Coins came out in another pile, but that's okay. You could have watched all 3 piles, and if you watched all 3 piles, leave a purple heart down below or say I made it. I know what that means, and I truly do thank you for spending the time with me. We have trustworthy, understanding, devoted, funny. It says there's so much to accomplish. Make a very detailed plan. Being watched over by someone kind. And I feel like you're very much in this place. The someone kind is actually your higher self right now. I feel like your higher self is coming in so strong. And it's just very clear that your higher self wants the best for you. Wants things to work out for you. Look, we have the King of Raphael, the King of Michael. Yeah, you could have definitely come from another pile. You don't have to. There's a little bit different energy that's coming in as well. But we see here with the 8 of Gabriel, or which would be the 8 of Wands, there's, I'm not going to be reading the bottom on these. I'm going to be reading how I would if it was a Tarot Marseille, okay? But with the 8 of Wands, we talk about fear and anxiety, right? Like that fear and anxiety that is overwhelming us and that keeps us small. And here we see, yes, it can be sudden communication, something that's very important, but I feel like it's very important that you're communicating that with yourself, and that you have taken time to connect with your higher self in a very unique way, in a very personal way, right? By becoming your own best friend, by realizing that your emotions are something that you can face and they don't have to control you. Especially here, I know we have Archangel Raphael coming out here, but I feel like this is also that indication that your higher self is with you, right? Your higher self is watching over you and helping guide you to finding balance in this realm, and that it's okay for you to be powerful. It's okay for you to stand in a state of honesty and truth. And being honest is not a mean thing, right? When you're speaking your truth out into the world, it's shining a light on you, right? And through that light, you're able to help inspire others to become completely honest with themselves. But the only way to be honest is to be honest about the fears and the trepidations that you have for taking the journey towards what it is that you desire to accomplish in this life. No matter how far the journey is, if you're not honest with the fears that you have, this will continue to elude your ability to grasp onto, right? You won't ever get closer to it. It'll always just keep, for however many steps you take forward, this is going to take that many steps forward away from you, right? And so you'll be on this long journey, but you're not being honest with yourself, and that just keeps getting further and further away. It's like, man, I've been on this journey for a long time. But what's happening here is we see there's a shift, and the good news here is that there's a shift in honestly the way that you consciously perceive yourself and the way that you emotionally feel about yourself. Like, for a reason that is coming through is saying, like, at a time you may have been a very, very, very big people pleaser, and you didn't know how to put yourself first, and you didn't know how to give to yourself, and it was easier to give to others because that meant that the focus wasn't on you, right? And so it's easier to put others' needs ahead of ourselves. So especially in people pleaser energies, it's easier to focus on everyone else because that means that we don't have to face our problems, because we can tell other people how to make it through their problems. That's so much easier. Isn't that? That's such a responsibility though, isn't it? When you're taking on the responsibility to help others heal, but you don't know how to heal yourself, like, that's such a responsibility. It's such a burden, because it's like, man, I wish I could heal myself, but I don't want to look at myself. No, I can't do that. I really can't, because if I look at myself, then I'm going to see things I don't like. And here, I feel like the things that you didn't like was how scared you were going towards what it is that you desired. So that could be being a psychic, that could be having a spiritual business, that could be writing, that could be creating something substantial to help people around the world, that could be anything, right? I do feel like it, for you, pile 3, I do feel like it is about being a light unto others. So something that has to do with light worker energy. Okay, and that can come, you don't even have to go and make your own business to do that, to be a light worker. It could just be about being a light in people's life. Like, I want to help people. I want people to feel good about themselves. I want people to know that they are strong enough to overcome things. But it started with you having the courage to overcome your own emotional situations. And now, whatever it is that has triggered you so roughly in the past and so deeply, it's no longer triggering you. Like, you're able to see that, like, wow, 2 years ago, this would have totally taken me out. I would have been down for a couple of weeks. I wouldn't have been able to survive this. Like, it would have been very difficult for me. And so the good news here that you need right now is this understanding that you faced your fear, okay? And you faced your fear by taking action towards this. It's like, say you want to be a painter, right? This is the example they're giving me, and you've always loved the idea of painting, and maybe one day you picked up a paint set and you got a canvas and you painted on the canvas, and it's not that it was terrible, but you might have thought it was terrible. You're like, how can I ever be a painter when this is how awful my paintings are? And so you put down the brush and you put the paints away and you put all your canvases away, and every once in a while you end up walking by them or seeing them, and there's like this longing in your heart to pick them back up, and it's just like, you're just like, no, I can't do that because I'm not good. I'm not that good. Why would anyone ever want to enjoy my paintings? Like, I can't even enjoy them, right? And it's like the longing just kept growing and growing and growing. Eventually that longing is what forced you to look at the fear of not being good enough. And then it was like, then the logic took place, and the logic's like, well, how can you ever become better if you're never practicing? And then that's when it was like, emotionally, you were like, oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So I have to actually step towards this and do it, because I really desire being a painter. And that doesn't have to be that you wanted to be a painter. You could put anything in that. But what it's saying is like, for so long, it's like you tried it and it was like always like, oh, I'm not good. Like, how come I want to be a painter when I'm terrible at it? Or I want to be a drawer and an artist and I'm terrible at it. And it's like, well, if you're terrible at it, everyone has to start somewhere. Do you really think that Michelangelo came out the womb drawing the Sistine Chapel? I mean, let's just be real. That's after years and years and hours of dedication and work to his craft. These artists that you see today, like Picasso, and I'm not terribly familiar with all the artists out there, but let's just be honest, like Michelangelo, Picasso, you have, I don't know, what is it, the one that did the Starry Night, and Rembrandt, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, let's just stop there, because I really don't know artist names, and I'm terrible about it, and so it's not that I don't like and appreciate art, it's just I don't remember their names, so... But do you think they all came out of the womb just like, here's my best work? No, like they actually had to show up and practice it. But it's like, if all you do is let your fear win, you're never going to show up and practice. You're never going to even put in the time or get hours or expertise or experience on it, because your fear is what's controlling you here. And so I feel like that also fed the shame within you, because it's like just feeling ashamed. Like, I can't even do the thing that I want to do so badly because I'm not good at it. When in reality, I feel like you facing your fear and actually just looking at it from a much more ambiguous place and not trying to judge yourself so harshly and just saying like, what's going to come out? Like, can I look at this with a sense of curiosity and wonder and just see what happens? You're going to realize that you're actually not that bad to begin with, right? Like, that's the funny thing about it. Like, we think we're so terrible because we're our own worst critics, right? But you can also be your best supporter if you want. But it feels like you faced that fear and the logic came through, and when the logic came through, it like quelled the emotions, right? It's like, okay, now I can let down the turmoil that had been coming up from that fear of going towards something that I deeply desire. Let's get some clarifiers here from the Osho Zen. Yeah, conditioning. We have the devil coming out with the Queen of Wands. It's like about being confident in yourself and sharing that gift with others, even if it's not what someone else is. But you're not an imposter. You're not a fraud here. That's just the conditioning that's been placed on you from others, right? From society, from teachers, from parents, from everyone else. Whoa. Okay, that was a weird shuffle. And so every time you wanted to do whatever it is that you were desiring to do, you always put it on hold, because it's like, oh, well, at least I'm good over here doing this one thing. Maybe you're in business, or like you're a lawyer or something like that. And you're like, well, I'm good. At least I'm good at that. And so it's like, it felt good going towards that because it was easier to do that with the practice and the experiences that you had. And maybe you don't remember when you first started how it wasn't easy to do what you do now. But it's like you keep getting drawn back to something. And the emotional healing here, it's like facing that fear of why it is that you were unable to go towards it before, is that's what's getting healed. And now you're opening up to letting yourself experience this, something that you wanted so badly. And it's not just experiencing, it's kind of like taking it in a whole new direction. Maybe you had an idea for it before, but that idea is expanding. It's turning into something else because now it's coming from you at a place of being healed. And so that's the good news for you, is actually stepping up into doing this thing that you've always wanted to do. And you may be like, I don't even know what that is. It's going to come. Like, that's what they're saying. Like, it's going to come. The realization is going to come. Right? Like, there's something here where you were just so stuck in the fear and the anxiety of not being good enough. And it's like you're finally facing that. Yeah, integration coming out here. With... I'm actually not sure. I think this is because that's 24. I'm sorry. No, that's not. It's not. It's temperance. My bad. I was seeing an extra number. Exactly. Like, you were just seeing things... not clearly, not in balance, right? But integration is all about bringing in this balance and harmony and healing that's coming from that, right? Knowing that if there's a little bit of light in the darkness and there's a little bit of darkness in the light, that you can switch and go between both. And we have Ouroboros here, which is a snake that is always continuously eating itself, right? So whichever one, and it's interesting that this would come out over the 8 of Wands energy. We're just talking about like when you get stuck in that mentality, it's constantly eating itself. It's like constantly feeding itself. It's constantly reminding you that, oh, I'm not good enough, even though it's just an illusion. You don't feel like it's an illusion because all of your emotional energy is placed on that, right? And so it becomes a reality. And so that's what's happening here, is like facing that fear and realizing like, I don't have to go down that path. I can choose something else. And so with that integration, you're actually opening up to the potential of whatever this creative endeavor is. It really feels creative here. Really feels like a sense of you being able to finally have a release for your emotions in a new way. Like it's not just about writing angry poems anymore, right? This is about writing very, I heard eclectic poems, like something that's so different, that's so unique, that stands out, but it expresses you authentically, and where it might not be like what people expect it to be, but people enjoy it. Like they're going to really love what it is that you produce, that you bring forth, but it comes from just being in a place of trusting the process. Okay, on the bottom, look, we have the silence energy here with the moon, right? And also awakening to your intuition. But it comes from the silence. It comes from, what did I say? Quelling those emotions, quelling the thoughts, like bringing that down. Like let's bring that back a little bit, right? Let's not let that run us. Let's not let that ruin what we've got that's good. That's something that can bring peace into my life. It's something that can make me feel balanced and at harmony, right? And the moon is all about going into the depths. And with it in the upright here, we talk about purging, right? Purging whatever it is that's not serving us, purging things that are hurting us, purging things that are making us feel small, purging the subconscious, right? But at one point, that subconscious also felt very dangerous, which was feeding the fear. And now it's like realizing how safe you are and how strong you are, and letting that go, and no longer being in that place of fear, but rather being a place of celebration, a place of experiencing exponential emotional growth. Our emotions will do all kinds of things to us, for sure. Like we have laziness here with the 9 of Cups. So, there is letting go of the illusion, right? Letting go of the illusion of it has to be one way. It's interesting here with laziness too, because I feel like maybe that's what your fear was, is, oh, I'm lazy, I just don't have time or space to do it, I'm just too lazy. And I feel like that's also the illusion here, is being lazy. I feel like you're realizing that no, it wasn't because I was lazy, it was because I was fighting against the belief of myself being an imposter and not being good enough and not having enough experience. But how can you ever gain experience if you don't try? You don't have to put your, like, again, going back to art, you don't have to put your paintings out there for sale. The first few paintings you do, the first 100 paintings you do, even the first thousands of paintings you do. It's not about putting it out there to sell. It's about doing something that's deeply rooted in your heart, and that's the expression that comes from it, right? And that's what it is. And so it's like relearning that the illusion has been something that has been reflected back to me. Because if you notice here, there's all these pieces of broken glass, like it's all shattered and cracked, like, so it's not seeing it clearly, right? And the 9 of Cups does talk about happiness in the Tarot Marseille, but it also refers to finally clearly seeing the illusions that we've had, not only about ourselves, but our emotions the entire time. And so I feel like that's so telling here, because I feel like a part of you is thinking, oh, I'm just lazy, like it's just something I'll never have time for. But that's not it. It's something much deeper than that. And then we have the 6 of Cups with the dream. And I love that this came out for you here, because I feel like you've seen others who have accomplished this place of happiness. Yes, it could be love. The Six of Cups does talk about romantic love, but I feel like this card in and of itself is very telling because she's watching this dream play out. And so I feel like the dream is whatever it is that was in your heart to be expressed. It's like you're seeing other people do that, and you're seeing them have success, and you're seeing them being so much further ahead than you, thinking, I'll never get there. Like, I'll always just be on the outside looking in. I'll never have that beautiful connection. I'll never have that beautiful ability to draw. I'll never have that beautiful ability to write, or I'll never have that beautiful ability to speak, or whatever it is. But if you just sit here and dream about it, if you sit here and do nothing, then that's how it will always be. It will always just be a dream. And so this is a dream that when you begin to be honest with yourself and realize that you can take action towards that, you can realize that dream in this life. But it's all about finding that balance, that harmonious balance within, right? And sometimes it is uncomfortable, and sometimes it's not easy, but the steps getting there are simple. And it's just the steps for you, Pile 3, are all about healing your emotional well-being. You've done an amazing job. It's just as you continue to heal it, you begin to understand so much more about yourself and why you've let yourself be so small in so many different situations. And I feel like you're also recognizing, this good news is saying you're recognizing that you don't have to be small anymore. Yeah, spiritual growth. So the good news, they're just being honest about it here, just being very straightforward here for you. Spiritual growth with House 9 coming out here. Expansion, right? Mental expansion, emotional expansion, spiritual expansion, abundance. So you're coming into a time of very abundant energy, abundant life, abundant love, abundant creativity. There's just a lot that's coming through here for you. We have the rose pink dragon, which prepares your heart to connect with the higher facets of the cosmic heart. Open your heart to warm-hearted love and diamond light. Connect with the love of the universe. And so you're being surrounded in this unconditional love right now to remind you just how amazing you are. And again, I feel like this is coming from source. It is coming from the divine. But I feel like more than anything, this is your higher self coming in and reminding you of how connected the two of you are. Sometimes we get so connected to our guides, and we get so connected to the angels and the Holy Spirit and God and source and the universe and the divine and spirit, whatever it is. We forget that we too have a higher self that's helping us and that loves us unconditionally as much as source does, and that's something that we can absolutely connect with. Our higher self is just waiting for us to connect with them because they have so much to tell us. And I feel like that's your higher self coming in, and your higher self is like, yes, I'm so glad you cleared all this emotional baggage. I'm so glad you took that journey, and I'm so glad you were brave enough to dive deep into this place that so many people give up on. And now I can finally connect with you, and you can feel my presence, right? Like we have shapeshifter here. Light attributes are skilled at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see potential in everything. And I feel like that's exactly what's going on here. It's like they're saying you've done so much. You've gone through so many layers. You know, you've gone through the top layers and you've gotten even into the bottom layers. The shadow here is projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. And I feel like this is the emotional ego part of yourself that you were fighting, where your emotional ego is trying to convince you, oh, you can't do that. Why would anyone want to see you do that? Why would anyone want to see anything that you produce? And your spirit and your higher self is like, hold up, this is what we were designed for. Of course this is what we're supposed to do. We have on the bottom, look at this beautiful dragon. I love this card so much. It's just so beautiful. We have Mother Mary and Zeo. Extend the trust within you to all things in existence. It will set you free. Those who are free will always choose love. There's just this divine love and healing that's coming, seeing things as they are and realizing that it's like you don't have to live from this fear anymore. You don't have to live from this judgment that you've been giving yourself anymore, but rather you can see, again, it's like that logic coming in. It's like the logic finally faces the fear, right? It's like your fear is like, oh no, but I can't. And the logic's like, well, yeah, but we never even tried. And the fear's like, yeah, but it's almost like you can't argue with logic sometimes, right? Like, it's not that logic always wins, but that's exactly what it feels like here for you, pile 3, is that the logic in this situation has faced the fear that was always driving the turbulent emotions. And because the logic has faced the fear, now the fear is just like sitting there like, what do I say? 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 Oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. Like, I gotta say something so that they don't go and they don't try. I'm trying to protect them. I'm trying to keep them safe. And the logic's like, hold up. Are you really? Are you really trying to keep us safe? Or are you just trying to keep you safe because you're uncomfortable with it, right? So we have the sun god and Ezra with 3 S's, right? Yeah. Burning away the old here, stepping into your power. Free yourself from lies and deception and live your truth. Shine in your own light. Other people's truths are of no use to you. And I feel like that's so powerful to what we've been talking about in this reading. It's like if someone else has told you that you weren't good enough, or that made you feel that you weren't good enough to do this, it's like free yourself from the illusions, which we see with the laziness card here. It's like you're no longer buying into that, which is so amazing, right? But it takes so much time, patience, and practice to get to this point where you can trust yourself to do what is good for yourself, rather than trusting other people's viewpoints of you or opinions of you is what matters, because they don't. That's their business. That's not your business. You got to attend to your business. And that's why your emotions are being highlighted in this reading. So we have, look, the bully. Yes, the light is highlights your tendency to intimidate others and helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. I cannot make this up. This energy is so strong here. And then we have the shadows, conceals deep fears behind verbal and physical abuse. And I feel like that's exactly what has happened here. You're finally realizing that I'm not going to let myself abuse myself, either physically or verbally, right? Because that's what happens. We get into so much of this crazy energy when our fear is at play. We don't know what it's going to do. It's very unpredictable. It can elicit anger. It can elicit sadness. It can elicit sorrow. It can elicit so much emotional reactions, not responses, but reactions, things that we're quick on the trigger to do. And that's what's happened here. It's like you're finally coming into this place where you're seeing the inner bully and you're saying, hold up, stop. You don't have this right to say this no more. The fire dragon. Yeah, you could have come from another pile as well. Burns up the lower energies around you. You are safe and protected. Be determined and inspired. Clear your soul pathway. Again, walking through the flames here. I also feel like this is an indication that you are connecting with the solar plexus chakra. So this could be you've grounded yourself and you're stable in your root chakra. You've now cleared the emotional, the sacral chakra, which allows you to open up to the willpower within you, which is the solar plexus chakra. So this is the stair step of the chakra system coming through the liberation current, right? From the ground up. We're not going through the manifestation current because this is about coming through the liberation to free yourself from the fear here. And so you're going one step at a time, but it feels like you're very much in this place of integrating each step as you go. And then if we have fire, again, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, confidence, optimism, passion, and bravery. So there's something here that's so substantial about fire. You know, and fire is the opposite element to water, right? I know earth is the one that's opposite on the zodiac wheel, but when we think of, you know, fire and water, right? Fire can actually make water evaporate and turn into steam and turn into smoke. And we have water that can eventually, if there's enough of it, put out a flame, right? And so together they can work against each other, but they can also work with each other and balance each other. And I feel like here there was too much water, and I feel like there's too much emotion, and it had to be evaporated, it had to be taken care of, it had to be dealt with. And the only way to deal with all that water that we started with in the beginning was to bring on the flames and through the fire. And you chose the sun card, and the sun is connected with Leo, which is a fire sign as well. The sun, you don't get, you know, the sun god, the sun, like you don't get more fire than that. You don't get more heat than that, right? It's like you have to bring on the heat to cool off the bully, as odd as that sounds, but it's true. It just feels very, very palpable here. So let's take a look at your Sacred Forest Oracle. We have Crystal Cave with trust, and it's number 9. There's a lot of changes that are coming. This is such a beautiful card. I love these cards. All right, so the Crystal Cave says, you stand before the cave, but you can't see in. Although you don't know what to expect, certitude is rising within you. You know that you are meant to go forward. You know that you are safe. Take a deep breath in and then take the first step. Caves have long been considered secret passageways to sacred powers and forces. Certain shamanic initiations occur in caves because they were thought to be places where your intuition could be activated. The appearance of this card is a message to believe in your intuition no matter where it takes you. Have faith in yourself and know that you are divinely guided even when you have doubts. Trust your feelings about others and about situations. You're exactly where you need to be. Trust is the foundation of the ability to manifest. Everything was created because someone believed it was possible. And patience is absolutely crucial in the application of this principle. Change can happen in a heartbeat, but some things require time. Please be patient and know that it will happen. Whatever receives your care and attention will flourish. Believe. You planted your seeds, now give them time to grow. In cultures throughout the world, the cave represents the womb, a source of life. They are where early humans sought shelter and protection. In the depth of the cave, know that you are safe and protected. The spirit of the Crystal Cave says you can let go and allow your clear, focused intuition to flow freely. Follow the nudges from your soul. Listen to others, but trust your instincts. Yeah, I feel like that's so powerful for you here. So your intuition is coming through. Another confirmation that the message here is from your higher self. You can trust where it is that we're going. You can trust where it is that we're headed. There's a reason we need to get involved in this. There's a reason that we need to do what our heart feels is so necessary for our journey. We're not just leading you into this so that you can hurt yourself. We're leading you into this so that you can fly free in this realm, which is what you were always designed to do. Okay. I loved this reading. I thought this was so powerful and strong, and I'm so happy for you. If this felt like you're reading, leave the little sun emoji down below and say, through the fires, I burn away the hardships that my emotions have put me through, and I understand myself fully. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all those links in the description box in order to do so. You can email me for a personal reading. You can follow me on over to my podcast on Spotify at Scatter Love Radio. You can even join as a member. And I would love to see you on memberships. But if not, thank you so much for your continued support here. I am going to go ahead and leave this here, but I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides, all for coming through to give us this powerful message. And until next time, stay human. Bye.